the thing that's coming up this week that we'll talk about next week, the Microsoft or the Xbox Developer Direct. So this happened last year as well. If I remember correctly, it was like Feb.
Feb, yeah.
Yeah. This is the show where Hi-Fi Rush was shadow dropped, back in the day. And I think we got a very long look at Redfall, and that was where the real alarm bells started ringing for Redfall.
Remember that.
But yeah, so there's another Developer Direct. It's taking place on Thursday, January 18th at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. UK time. That means it's 10 p.m. local time. Well, not for Matthew. It's
perfect for me.
So. And it's basically, the blurb here says that we'll get an inside look at a selection of highly anticipated games coming to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass. Shortly after, ZeniMax Online will host the Elder Scrolls Online 2024 global reveal to preview the game's big update. So there's 4 big games that Microsoft have kind of mentioned here that are going to be part of the show.
Yeah.
The big one is the Indiana Jones games. So we've known that Machine Games, developers of Wolfenstein, have been working on an Indiana Jones game. Todd Howard has been advising on this game as well.
Oh, no.
But I did not expect them. I did not expect, firstly, the game to be shown this early in the year, but also 10 minutes of the game to be shown.
But to be fair, it was showed this game was revealed a long time ago. It
was ages ago, but they haven't said anything since. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm keen to see.
It's cool. This could have been like an E3 thing, but E3 doesn't exist anymore. So.
I know.
There were rumors going around that this was coming out 2024 because all the other games here are coming out 2024. It's not being confirmed. I wouldn't be shocked if they put a 2024 date on it.
I also think it's November 2024, for example.
Yeah, it could be a big holiday game. The next one is Avowed. That's the RPG that Obsidian, the makers of Fallout New Vegas and
Grounded.
What's the other RPG? Grounded, yes, Grounded. But they're making a more like a sort of Skyrim-ish game. I think a lot smaller in scope. It is out this year. It already has a release window, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Or they just said 2024 last time we saw it. So.
Yeah, this is another one that was shown. I mean, we haven't seen.
It was shown in June last year. Yeah,
wasn't it way before then? I feel like it was.
Well, it was announced ages ago, and then it resurfaced June last year with actual gameplay.
Have they shown gameplay?
And then people are like, oh, this doesn't look anything like I thought it would look, because it looked quite colorful and so. Looks cool. I like Obsidian's RPGs, so we'll see. Oh, they did the Other Worlds. Outer World. Why do those two games have the same name? Almost the same.
It's the worst. Outer World.
Aura History Untold. This was also revealed in June last year. I think it's made by Oxide Games, a studio funded by veterans of the strategy genre and the creators behind classic strategy titles like Civilization 5. So this is another strategy game of that ilk. And then Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. This has to get a release date here, surely.
Yeah.
This is a game that has been teased even before the Series X came out.
Whatever.
They've been talking about this game for so fucking long.
Yeah.
It has to get a date. I know last year they said 2024 for it, but surely this is the time you set a date and you show gameplay. And,
I also think so. Because even that, funny enough, we've barely seen any. I don't think we've actually seen gameplay.
It was one of the first games announced that it was using Unreal Engine 5, and everyone then was like, oh, okay, so this game's fucking years away because Unreal Engine 5 is not even a thing yet,
Hey, Unreal Engine 5's a thing now. Where's the game?
It's a thing now. Fortnite's using it. Some games are using it. We got that Magic Hand Shooter using it. It's wild out here.
Hand Shooter. Put it on the box.
Do you think we get another surprise a la Hi-Fi Rush?
I was thinking that. Look, we don't want to be greedy. Okay, the 4 games from Microsoft to sort of set the tone for the. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the showcase, all these games have release dates, and it's almost to what Phil Spencer said once upon a time. They want to hit a big release every quarter. I think he said that. It's like there's a big
he did,
AAA per
I don't
quarter.
think they've ever done that.
They've never done it. I think this, for example, is like, yes, avowed, like it's not likely, but like avowed Q1, Indiana Jones Q2, like, you know what I mean? They can list it out. It would be cool for them to map out the year. However,
that would be a good approach with the 4 games. Yeah,
and
I think that
can I just
cool.
be clear? I have no insight. I work on Xbox. This direct,
no, I'm taking this as gospel.
It's gospel. I get told shit. Okay, this is just my assumption. So if it happens, I'm sorry. It wasn't an actual leak. But I wouldn't be surprised. It would be a nice little cherry on top, because I think the response to Hi-Fi Rush was really good. I know maybe Hi-Fi Rush isn't as successful as we all hoped it would be, but it was still a nice surprise for Microsoft. And I think they saw that sentiment of like, this went down really well. Maybe that out of one of their 4 million studios, there is a game ready to go that hasn't been released. It's also like Hi-Fi Rush, a side project. I'd love to see them go, cool. You've seen these 4 games. Here's a surprise out now. Shit. In the perfect world, that would be amazing.
Listen, I would love that primarily, but I think that's because like Hi-Fi Rush was like one of my favorite games from last year. I don't think they'll do a shadow drop per se. But I think if anything, there will be a game that they've not disclosed that they will show. You know,
Hollow Knight Silksong out now. Also, we bought Team Cherry.
Don't play with my heart. Don't play with my heart.
We bought Team Cherry.
Could you imagine?
Silksong
game
out now.
Show just opens with Silksong and it's like out now. Xbox Game Pass. Boom.
Shit, I'm there. Let's do it. What are you waiting for?
I don't think so. If I was going to put money on Silksong appearing, the eventual Nintendo Direct in February. Yeah. And I think it would appear there. And if not there, then we have to wait till fucking June.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
To see it. I think just sticking with Microsoft quickly, I guess let's just talk about Starfield. Starfield's next update promises over 100 fixes and improvements. PC beta.
Will it make it fun?
Will it remove all of the load screens?
No,
it won't, because I think that ain't a patch that can just happen. I don't know what this promises, but Starfield's not going away anytime soon, and I don't want it to be clear. It's more, I'd love to see what they're going to do with it. It's their big game. What plans do they have? No idea.
Some of these fixes, players can expect improvements to sun disk geometry and planet ring shadows.
Yes.
Awesome. Remedies for instances when ships' hatches are marked as inaccessible. Okay, that's a big thing. Plus another fix for the lingering and entirely hilarious issue of asteroids following ships. That sounds like a feature, not a bug.
Why removing that? Ships have their own gravitational pull. It's science.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. What's going on here?
Sure. I mean, for people still attempting to engage with Starfield, that's cool. It's cool that the game's getting better for you. There's almost nothing at this point that will get me to play that game.
I will say that if you are a big Starfield fan, I'm glad I played the game through to see credits, because I do still think the twist or how they set up New Game Plus is very cool and interesting. So yeah, if you're playing the game, I get it. You want to keep playing New Game Plus for a number of reasons. Here's a big patch for you. Last piece of Xbox news is that Sea of Thieves reportedly could be coming to PlayStation and Switch, possibly in early 2024. And this is according to this article, following speculation that Microsoft may be considering bringing Hi-Fi Rush to Switch. Which is
there was like it was reports in the same week that were like saying 2 different games, but neither of them was saying no, the other one's wrong. This is the actual game. They were just kind of saying that in tandem, both of these games sounded like they were coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know Jeff Grubb at Giant Bomb said that he had heard from people at PlayStation that Sea of Thieves was coming. He had not heard anything about Hi-Fi Rush, but then other sources were saying Hi-Fi Rush. Steven Totilo also mentioned Sea of Thieves coming to other platforms. So I definitely think this is a thing that is being discussed. I don't think this is a thing that, this isn't a thing that Microsoft announces at their Direct,
No,
This is like
it's
you get a state of play from PlayStation, and next thing fucking Sea of Thieves pops up.
yeah. I'm still
So-
adamant that long term Microsoft puts maybe not like day and date, but Microsoft puts their games on PlayStation and other platforms
Yeah.
because what do they have to lose?
No, I agree, and I think it will take some time for them to warm up to the idea of doing it for their big franchises. Like, will we see Halo on PlayStation anytime soon? Definitely not.
Probably not.
Like, I
Will we-
absolutely don't think you'll see that.
Starfield on PlayStation. I'm telling you, like that. Look, given
Could be, yeah.
how
Given
well,
that if that game's struggling, then yeah, absolutely.
but also given like it's struggling. But think of how many copies it sold. That early edition, whatever the hell it was called, that thing sold so many copies. Can you imagine people on PlayStation? Like, I know we know Starfield's not like a fantastic game, but you best believe there are Bethesda fans on PlayStation are like, yes, I'd love to play Starfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't you do that? But what do I know?
I could see it. And I think it's totally fine. Like, if Microsoft wants to keep them for a few years and then put them on rival platforms, that's great. That's more money for them. And I think Sea of Thieves is a great one because they can work with like crossplay there, and the community is so big, keeps growing. It's like the one game that is just like trucking along so successfully that people don't talk about, at least in mainstream circles.
It's nearly 6 years old at this point.
Yeah,
which is
exactly
wild.
Yeah, and Hi-Fi Rush is as good as it was. It underperformed, like sales wise. So why not take this really critically acclaimed darling and just put it on places where people will actually purchase it more?
Yeah. How do you think it would run on Switch? Because it's not.
I think fine.
It's not like visually. Like, I love the visual style, but it's not necessarily graphic intensive. I think
they need to make some concessions because that game needs to run at 60, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting it to run that low might be challenging. But we'll see. Yeah,
we'll see. What do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about some
Pokemon with guns? Oh, okay.
Let's talk about Pokemon with guns. This is an actual
Pokemon
game.
Palworld's Pokemon with Guns adventure.
Yeah, not called Pokemon
it's
with Guns.
entering early access. Oh, that's more boring. Okay. It's coming to PC, Xbox, and Game Pass, but it is early access, and it's coming out on January 19th. It wasn't on the release schedule. Well,
Gabe Goen, just this man.
Disappointing.
If you've not watched this trailer,
it is nuts.
Do yourself a favor, because if you're watching the video version of the podcast now, this is a Pokemon clone through and through until your heart cuts. I don't know if it's this trailer, but there is a trailer where here we go. They're straight up shooting in this.
But that's not even the wildest thing. You see that and you're like, okay, they're shooting, cool. But then it hard cuts to like a factory where the Pokemon are constructing weapons.
Exactly.
And you're like harvesting other Pokemon for like food.
Yeah,
and
not in this trailer, but the first reveal trailer, whatever it was, hilarious. That trailer starts and ends in two completely different places, and you'd never
just
predict.
The most wild thing I've ever seen. Yeah. So it's launching in early access. It says here to introduce PvP, new pals, new areas, and dungeons to explore, plus new survival items and buildings. The initial early access version will include 70 buildings and 350 item types. I guess there's a building mechanic. It's also considering incorporating entirely new game systems based on play feedback. This game is going to be in early access for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely will be. Okay, now we can talk about numbers. Big graphics cards.
Pals can be made to put to work making fire, generating electricity, or mining ore, or sent to a factory line where they can be made to automate different tasks until they drop dead.
Perfect. This is a game I've been waiting for my whole life.
Oh, and that's out. That's for the good players. Those good players can use that to then fight the poaching players who poach other pals, do crime, and sneak into wildlife sanctuaries to capture rare pals that can be sold for cash.
I love that.
So this is the very Hogwarts Legacy version of like, I'm going to stop the poachers by actually imprisoning you.
But I love that one of the bullet points there is like the bad people can do crime. Do this, do crime, do this. Best.
With players able to do crime and all the
Nice.
associated attributes that comes with.
Absolutely love that. I'm here for it.
Oh my god.
Okay. The last few pieces of news. Nvidia's RTX 40 Super GPUs deliver more power without price hikes. This means nothing to me. I see
Bit of a dubious headline, but
explain
so
what's going
there's
on.
there's 3 new graphics cards out. There's basically the RTX 4080 Super, which is barely an upgrade on the 4080. It's like, I think if you're looking at CUDA cores and like the boost clocks and all of that, it's within like 1 to 3% or something ridiculous. The difference there is that instead of costing $1,200, it now costs $1,000, and it is replacing the current 4080. So basically, they're just reducing the price of the 4080 but rebranding it.
Yeah.
$1,000 is still a fuck ton of money for a graphics card, especially when the the higher end enthusiast cards used to be between like $700-$800. You know what I mean? Now we're looking at $800, and that's not even the highest end. The 3090 is sitting at $2,000.
Oh my god, that is
so.
ludicrous.
Yeah, no, it's extreme. It's extreme. The 4070 Ti is the super interesting one, I think, because it is the one that has a pretty significant upgrade over the current 4070 Ti. So it's also replacing the existing card.
Yeah.
It will have a pretty broad increase within like 10% across most of its attributes. The biggest upgrade is that it's jumping from a 12 gigabyte card to a 16 gigabyte card, which for a lot of modern games is very important. That means it has the same memory as the 4080. So that just gives a lot more longevity to your card. And it is going to be coming in at the same price as the current 4070 Ti, which is $800. So no price decrease, but you're getting a significantly better card, in my opinion, for the same price. And then the 4070 is kind of the same thing. No price decrease, same as $600. It gets a very big jump in terms of performance over the current. So the 4070 Super gets a big jump over the 4070. It still only has 12 gigs of memory, but like its clock speeds, its CUDA core count, its ray tracing core count, like almost over 20% difference. Yeah. So lots more power for same price. So that's good. It's cool that Nvidia, I don't know if they were necessarily bullied in this position because the prices are still pretty high. Like 4070 is considered a mid-tier card and it's costing like $800. That's like pretty obscene still.
It's chump change.
But it is a step in the right direction. Here's the hope that when the 50 series comes out, you know, the 5070 and 5080 equivalents will just stay at these prices for the, you know, drastic performance difference you'll get there. So that's the hope, that we won't get a 5080 that's back to like $1,300 or something stupid like that. Yeah, no, thank you. These are out. These are doing like a staggered launch throughout January. So I think the first one is the 4070, then it's the 4070 Ti, and then the 4080.
Nice.
But they're all out by the end of Jan. So yeah.
So if you're looking to start 2024 in 4K, here you go.
I mean, if you waited, I think if you're on a 30 series card, there's no real reason to upgrade yet. I think you're starting to see like games starting to pressure like your card in a way, but I don't think it's at the point yet where it's like, man, I should really drop $1,000 on a new card. I would wait till the 50 series and then just get a monumental jump in performance.
Sorry, no, carry on.
No, I was just going to say the 4070 Ti is basically, well, it's just passing like a 3090. So if you have like anything between like a 3080 and a 3090, I don't think you should be looking at an upgrade anytime soon.
I've got a 3070 Super, I think. I mean, and my card's still absolutely fine.
Yeah, I think like I said, I think once the 50 series comes out, that's when it's going to start becoming a bit more pressure, because then by then it's also already been like 5
years.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah. So you're looking at like a generational leap when you jump back. I always advocate for like skipping a gen when upgrading. Going each gen is just kind of insane.
Too much. Yeah.
So yeah.
Last piece of news, very important. Cult of the Lamb's sex update is coming.
I mean, people They asked on Twitter if they wanted this. People said yes, and they did it.
They've done it.
I bet they were doing it anyway. So.
Listen, the Cult of the Lamb social media person deserves
10 out of 10.
all of the raises, because this account, like, well, I don't know where. Let me see if I click it. Is it where I need to see their Twitter accounts? Nope. There's no links here. Oh man, I've gone off the wrong article. The social media presence, like Cult of the Lamb, should have just been a great indie game that disappeared. Like people played it, loved it, and then moved on with their lives. But it's still in the zeitgeist because I think the social media is done right, and there are constant updates for the game. And you're probably right. They had this updates planned, I'm sure, and they position it like, what do you guys want? And it was done very smartly that, this is what the fans want, and now they're like, oh, here you go, you asked for it, here it is.
Exactly.
10 out of 10 for Cult of the Lamb.
I have to read this very thoughtful description that Polygon put together of the trailer. You should watch the trailer.
Yes.
It's fun. I mean, this game's got really good marketing, like you just said, and the trailer's always really good. But this paragraph, the Sins of the Flesh trailer shows a cultist in the nude, except for an artfully placed fig leaf, holding and spinning the titular lamb while laying on the riz. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the background, two other cultists run into a tent together, which sways and moves while we hear giggling from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
The two emerge holding an egg with a sinister look. With sinister-looking eyeballs drawn on the outside. This game is great.
That's fantastic.
What a game!
It's too good. There we go. We're seeing it play out. There we go.
I assume the spinning was a Riz. I don't understand.
There we go. Oh, bam. I still have to play this game one day.
It's great. I think you'd. I never got around to finishing it, but when I was playing it, I was having a good time. Really good, loop of roguelite and base building.
Nearly 600,000 followers on Twitter.
Game is big.
Quiet indie
real
game.
Big.
That's crazy.
Man, Devolver knows how to pick them. Hey, they really just that. I think that has been the core of their business, just doing so well. As they have identified games so like games that will sell and games that people will be interested in so well, and then supported them in a way that gets that vision over the line.
Yes.
And markets them in a way that they know people will engage with. So. Yeah, props to Devolver for just being a good publisher in that front.
Look at this premium content. Happy Nude Year. I mean, come on. It's genius. It's so good. But on that note, that is news.
That is news.
All the
that
news
is the Riz.
That's
the news and the Riz.